I hope not.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm your, host of the council, David Anthony WEBDAVE, and my co-host, the infamous RHETRI.
What's going on, guys? I'm doing good, Dave. What's up, chat? We got Silent Cypher and Pixel Bit G, one of my favorite guys on the Twitter sphere. He likes to give people crap on their internet, and I'm here for it. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, God, I hope I'm more than that.
Thanks for having us.
You're so much more.
Let there be slander.
You're right. I was gonna say the slander, one of the slanderous ones, but some other people kind of claim that territory. But yeah, absolutely enjoy the slander for sure.
It is going to be fun tonight. Make sure I welcome everybody in the chat. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll kind of I want to make a quick little statement before we get going, and plus it'll get some chance for more people to come in. But what I got to say first is that we have a very amazing member of the Xbox community, Randall Thor 19. He was actually scheduled to be a guest tonight on our show, and unfortunately, this week is his dog of many years, Shakespeare, had passed away. And Shakespeare was an awesome dog. Every now and again, you hear him in the background of Xbox 2 podcast, and our hearts go out and our sympathy with the family for Randall Thor 19, and he said he will be on in a few weeks. Give some time to heal and recover, but sometimes that's a hard thing to recover from, because pets are like family members. So again, we greatly appreciate everything that he does for the community, and Rand, our hearts go out to you, buddy. And with that said, let's get some proper introductions on this. Pixel Bit G, tell us a little bit about yourself right off the bat. I know you're on Twitter, and I know you've been on a few other shows. Tell me a little bit about yourself real quick.
I am just your average nearly 50-year-old gamer.
Love it.
Youngin.
Yeah, I have. I'm a youngin. I spent some time on these gaming streets. I'm a multi-console owner. And general shit. Excuse me. Commentator on Twitter.
It's been past 7 seconds. You can let it go.
That's right. You made it. You're good.
That's all good. We greatly appreciate you being here. We look forward to your insight tonight on some of our topics that we got going. And like I said, guys, this is going to be just fun. Let it go. Talk about it, and let's just let's have fun. Plus, we're going to hear from the chat here in a little bit too, as well. And Silent Cypher, tell everybody about yourself real quick, where everybody can find you at it, because you're on a pretty crazy podcast with the crazy one, Crazy Lou.
Yeah, well, I'm your average 60-year-old podcaster. No,
he's a young blood. We got young blood up in here. How old are you, Cypher?
Just 36.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're 6 years older than my oldest son.
Hey, the council does not discriminate. We love young and old.
No. You need to speak this from all age, even the ones that's still in diapers.
That's right.
I'm not wearing the diapers today, so we're good.
Not today.
No, so yeah, obviously, like Dave was mentioning, from XBI podcast, my brother's Crazy Louie and Sour Blow, and sometimes Plume when he's available from work. We hang out, talk the game, shoot the breeze, all that fun jazz. But I'm super stoked to be here today. Thank you guys so much for having me. I can't wait to talk to everyone in chat and just talk about everything that's going on right now. It's pretty wild.
Absolutely.
It definitely it's
and that's his real voice, good. Folks. He's not faking it. I played games with him. Like you
voice.
can't fake it for that long. I'm telling you. So
he is sexy, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
You're like, he's like, yeah, oh my God, he's turning red. I'm just kidding. But man, well, look in the chat already, man. We got some great people in there. We got Silent,
Absolutely.
obviously Cypher's there because he's right there. But we have FarQ. I love that. When you have to kind of say it slow when you say it. Tony Grasso, Sour Blow. Thanks, Sour Blow, for being there. Appreciate it. Infinite Umbra. Woo! That man
brother?
can sing.
Yep,
The ladies swoon when they hear him sing. That's true. You know it's true. Oh goodness. RSJ fan, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everybody here. And if I didn't mention your name yet, I'm sure I will throughout the night. So please, if you get a chance, the last thing I'm gonna say in the RHETRI trucks, I'm not talking too much, is that we do have this wonderful little gizmo that we do, which is it is the voice message that you're able to send us while the show is going on, and we actually play those. It's through a speak pipe, and the it's on the screen right now, going through the bottom, but it's actually in the description of the show. You can click on it. You can leave up to a 90-second message, and we'll play it back on this episode tonight, so people can hear your either question, comment, or something you want to say, or if you just want to tell RHETRI how awesome he is. You can't.
Yeah, please do.
God, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
no, you can do that. That's fine.
You put that in the it's in the live chat right now too, so you can click on that if you want to make it easier. And the cool thing about that is that it's not just where you can like leave a message. It gives you the chance to hear it back before you send it. So in other words, I know Asante said he a couple of weeks ago he left us a message. He goes, I did it like 3 times to make sure I got it the way I really wanted it. So nothing to be afraid of, and no one's gonna judge you. Some people are nervous to get on, but it's all right. This is just another way you can talk to us, and of course you can communicate. We don't do super chats because we don't have enough to do that as well. But we still, if you have a question in the chat, we'll do our best to get it on. So please, talk about it. And RHETRI, what do we got up first?
Well, I'm just want to ask, let's talk about what you guys are playing for games lately. Like Pixelbit and Silent Cypher. I'll start up with you, Pixelbit. What have you been playing for games lately? Any movies or TV shows that pop up that you're interested in? Stuff like that.
For me, my main focus has been Midnight Suns. That's kind of my game right now. So I'm like probably like in the 2nd chapter or something. I'm playing it like I'm just taking my time with it. It is a great game. It has that XCOM feel, but except with a card-based system under it. But some people don't like, but I love it. I love how it forces you to mix up your strategies. So spending a lot of probably too much time on that one.
Did you get that one on sale? That one went on sale not too long ago. Did you pick it up when it was like $30 or?
No, I picked it up full price. Like I pre-ordered it. Yeah, I generally won't pre-order a game, but there are certain genres that I just like. You got me. So yeah,
I've heard nothing but good things about that one. Like I haven't heard a single person who actually played it that didn't like it. It's on my list along with a bunch of other games.
It's legitly solid. They have like this interesting in between sections where you like talk to your team and stuff like that, which initially seems like it might be a silly concept, but actually works out to be pretty dope. So I've been enjoying that. So no TV shows or movies right now other than finishing up The Mandalorian. I think that was this week, but it's been a long work week, so I'm not sure which week it was.
I heard that.
But
I hear you.
That no spoilers, but that ending was fire. So
okay, I haven't seen it yet. I'm catching up on The Mandalorian now. It's kind of a little bit of hit and miss for me on this season. I like best episode ever, and then the next one's like, I don't know, but yeah, I'm still watching it. I'm still pushing through. Silent Cypher, anything for you, sir? What you've been playing? Any TV shows, comic books, any pulp culture stuff you want to talk about? Go for it.
Yeah, so I've actually I've had some downtime at work because I've been kind of in transition into a new job, and because of that, I've been kind of sitting around just twiddling my thumbs a little bit. And so I got a little bit of time playing around on Vampire Survivors, but I also actually jumped into Rabbit Hole that's on Paramount Plus, as well as The Recruit, and I also finished one called the Oh, Night Agent. That's right, on Netflix.
Oh, I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
surprisingly good.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, it's always a gamble what you're going to run into on some of those exclusive streaming shows, but that one turned out really good. But yeah, besides that, I actually dipped my toes a little bit into Dead Island 2 over the last couple days, which has been
nice,
a lot of fun. I forget about the zombie gore on those games. It was pretty wild. The very first time I took a wrench to someone's face and their jaw just basically got dislodged and was just hanging from skin, I was like, "Oh dear God, what are we doing?" I forgot how intense those games get.
Right.
It's impressive. I think I've kind of mentioned it a little bit previous, but I'm really happy to see that after a 10-year window like that, where it constantly was getting kicked back, changing hands as far as devs and stuff like that, I'm glad it stuck the landing. I'm glad this thing's actually out there. It can be played and people are enjoying it from what it seems like so far. Besides that, I did see the Mario movie this last weekend, of which it was.
Where are you on that? I'm curious. Go ahead. It's okay.
I apologize because this is probably going to upset some folks, but I was really, really hoping that they're going to try and figure out a way to make like a storyline with some character, and it just feels like it's very empty as far as character goes. Like, you know, some game to movies and some of those adaptations have done a really good job at like fitting in a storyline, and there's not a lot of content to this to build a storyline off of, but it felt just kind of hollow.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with you. I thought it was good, certainly not great. I kind of felt leaving the movie something wasn't there. I kind of agree with your assessment.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Black did amazing with his character and stuff. He was definitely the standout character for sure throughout that movie. Hats off, I would say. And the visuals are great, but
it's very pretty.
I just kept hoping like there was going to be something, and it felt like it was going to be a lot funnier than I anticipated.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
And it was
it's not just me then. All right. No. Yeah, I when I watched it, I was like, I looked at my wife and I was like, there was funny parts, like especially the blue star. When you guys see the blue star in the cages, you'll know what I'm talking about. That character is one of the best. But it just wasn't hitting as often. The funnies just weren't hitting as often as I thought they would. You know, it wasn't like I was kind of, I guess, maybe unfairly comparing it to the Lego movie, which I just thought was masterful. I was like, wow, you know, what a great ride.
It's hard to stand that one up to this. Yeah, for sure.
Very true.
It's not the same thing. And I get like this was a really good spot for them to start off.
Yes.
It sounds like there's going to be a lot more they're going to do in this universe as far as these things go. It sounds like they're actually tying it to almost do what like the MCU is doing, right? Because they've already mentioned that they're going to do like the Nintendo cinematic universe. So in theory, if they do that and they carry through on some of these characters and stuff, maybe we'll see more character come to it, more funny, more, I don't know, just more soul. For those characters. So I'm not all down on it. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with you on that one.
Okay, RHETRI, I got you got to read this one. Who it's from in the comment.
Well, I know who made this one. I know who you are now. You've outed yourself. Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account. For any of you interested, there's a flat for sale at CMA headquarters. 500 PCR moving out after being stabbed in the back. Guess nobody appreciates good snitching these days. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Jim. No one appreciates your good snitch. I love our community.
Yes, I do too. Very much so.
That's great.
I'm kind of an outlier on this Mario thing. I loved it. I kind of
watched. Okay, all right, awesome.
Like a big ass kid. So for me, I just see Mario. I see silliness going on, and I catch.
And you just got all giddy, huh?
Yeah, I loved it. I go to those kind of movies to remove the part of me that is an adult, right?
Right. So absolutely.
My kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but
Yeah, see, that's cool too. Like you go there like with your kid too, and you kind of live the movie through them, which I think makes it that much better. I should have just brought my nieces or nephews with me. I think it would have been a little bit more enjoyable for me. I don't know, but I'm glad you liked it, Pixel. I'm hearing like I kind of felt like Cypher. I kind of felt like an outlier where. And I'm not saying the movie was bad in any regard. It's a lot of fun, but I just thought it was going to be funnier and at a like more of a cadence, I guess, throughout the whole thing. But I still really enjoyed it. And the good news is it's only like an hour and a half. So it's not a 2 hour, romp where you got to sit through it and you're like, when is this going to end? So I don't know. I think it was decent, but I'm glad you liked it, Pixel. I know a lot of other people loved it. I know Everborn was all about it too. So
I do think, RHETRI, I do think you prefaced it the right way, right? Is like you and I both went into it expecting something like Lego Movie.
Yeah, yep.
And that was probably our fault. Honestly,
that was my bad for sure.
Because it definitely is a different thing. And we did bring the kids. The kids had a blast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't get me wrong. Like I was just being my grouchy old man self as usual.
That's right.
My kids loved it. My wife seemed to enjoy it. It's not for me, Like, and that's fine. Not every movie's made for me. I've discovered that many times over. So,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, that movie coming soon. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I've heard good things about that too. So we'll see. I do love my horror.
My daughter is a manager, floor manager at a movie theater chain, and that's how come I got these gold posters behind me, including the Mario one right over my head. There.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, and man, there's some good stuff coming.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what we got?
I've heard it. It's made a ton of money too. All right, so first up, I'm just gonna. So obviously, like tonight, we're talking what's going on with the CMA. We're talking Con getting absolutely freaking roasted by Congress. We're talking about In Exile and what's going on with a possible another a second exclusive. I don't know what's going on with Xbox Studios and them like I feel like every damn studio is like taking on second, third games. Like stop, just make one for me. I don't know. We got Tango. We got some Tango Gameworks news, but we'll get into that. Let's start off with a little video here I put together of basically Con just Con getting her ass handed to her here. So let's just play this. This is the only one that actually should have audio. The rest of them don't, because we'll get hit by the YouTube gods and they don't like when we do that shit. So let's play this. Oops. Yeah. Hold on. Why isn't that playing? Well, that's weird. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I think I did break it. I don't know why that's not playing. It's weird just playing Black Hawk. Give me a second, guys. Let me bring it in. Talk amongst yourself as I figure this crap out.
All right. Well, I'll do that while you figure it out. What I was going to say is that welcome the Wandering Dutch is in our chat. And Dutch, oh my God, I have to say, and I'm sure everybody on the panel that got to see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. The Dutchies. The indie game show that you produced is absolutely amazing. It was fantastic. It was great seeing, I guess I can spoil it now, Aaron Greenberg introduce the segment. Oh my gosh. And then if you stay all the way to the end with some of the outtakes, those are pretty funny too. Pretty funny. And so many great games. And I know that now that it's aired and it's available, anybody can watch it on demand for free. That you have it set up to where you've got all the chapters set in there. And that's great, man. Makes it easy. You can the people that came on and talked about each different game, and you got all the games. So if you just want to pick out one or two games to check out, but I tell you got to watch the whole thing at least once because it is absolutely amazing. Dutch, congratulations, man! Great job again. Look forward to the summer edition when it airs sometime in September.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was a really good show. 2.5 hours of just banger after banger of indie games that a lot of them did not feel indie. I was making a list and came up with like 26 games. My hand was getting cramping up there of what the hell I'm going to buy. So thank you, Dutch, for making an excellent show and, making my wallet that much lighter. Appreciate it, sir.
Hey, did you get it ready?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm wondering if the other videos are gonna screw up too, so I might have to like bring these back in one by one. But as soon as I bring this in, it should play. So here we go. Let's see if it works.
Go for it.
Why should we increase your budget while you're sending staff to Europe to harm U.S. companies and directly benefit China? You don't have to answer that. But
Don't answer that.
Why would you help the EU undermine U.S. law and U.S. companies?
So you don't publicly advertise these positions for these experts. Who initiates contact?
As a general matter, I would think the agency would have initiated contact since these were specific needs that we were looking to fill, and so we would know what our needs were.
Seems like it's ripe for an opportunity for fraud or corruption or finding people who are willing to execute on a political agenda.
Chair Khan, under your tenure as chair, the integrity and effectiveness of this independent agency has been repeatedly questioned. Both Republican commissioners have resigned during your tenure. Senior staff have quit in record numbers, with reports in the New York Post describing you as abusive and a tyrant. Regarding the FTC's budget request, the concerns raised by current and former employees at your agency do not reassure us that you'll put the American people first.
I say we can all agree that competition law isn't supposed to protect an industry's dominant player.
Correct.
In light of that, I find it curious that the FTC is taking action to protect Sony, which has 68% of the global market for high-end video gaming consoles, from competitive or competition attempted to block Microsoft's proposal or their proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. As you know, Sony's been the most vocal opponent of that deal, and remarkably, the FTC has sided with Sony. Can you explain why that seems to be a good idea?
Oh, did you see? Okay, I just want to point out that frickin' smirk right at the end, which is like,
Great, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That smirk was like,
That's
oh, I just nailed your ass.
And this?
I mean, this obviously was not all about the, FTC versus, Sony and Microsoft and the merger. This was 3 hours of a budgetary subcommittee meeting with Congress, because Khan wants more money, which is laughable to me, and apparently laughable to a lot of the Republicans on Congress, and even some Democrats. Andre Dutch, thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, I don't know, thoughts. Did anybody see any of this stuff? This Congress basically bashing Khan left and right? I know a lot of it was on the internet, but just anyone can go off right here. I'm just curious if you guys saw these stuff and what you think about what we just witnessed.
Man, I saw the one from the folks from Tennessee. I forget, is it Congresswoman, Senator? I forget exactly what she was from that one, but man, like even just that one alone, when she sits there and she basically, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it's like she literally put Lena right in a situation of being like, okay, so we're getting you on the record right now with this information. Why are you trying to protect Sony over, a US based company? And it's fun to see that moment, because it feels like the woman could have just been like, here, hold on, record. Okay, now say your words, because we're going to use this against you in a couple days if you guys put up any more of a fuss about this, right? Like this is literally the way that you catch them right in the act. You catch them in recording, you catch them on stenographer. You have that ready as ammo for your arsenal if they try and throw a fit about it moving forward. That made me happy. I kept getting that smirk on my face, just like the one that she was getting, and,
Exactly.
and it was enjoyable.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, like I know this is political, guys. I know the majority of those guys were Republicans, and I'm gonna just say it right now. And I don't like bringing politics in here, but I am a lifelong Democrat. You know what I mean? I quote unquote bleed blue or whatever the F, just like I bleed green and sometimes blue when I play Sony PlayStation games.
Wait, let me kick you off here.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, but at the same time, BS is BS, and this should be passed with flying colors. I don't agree with any of the Democrats' take on this. That whether it be Senator Warren or anyone else, and it screams political agenda to me, and it pisses me off to see my side. I call it my side. There is no sides anymore because I don't like any of them. To be pulling this shit, I just don't like it. Pixelbit.
Yeah.
What say you, sir?
I watched a lot of it, right? I mean, the whole thing with it is she's wasting taxpayer money, right? I mean, we know,
right?
If she had an obvious, real, solid case, she'd have taken it to court, and she has not taken anything to court, really. For the most part, she just decides to block things, and then see how it goes, and she loses in court, and she doesn't care. Right, but that costs people money, right? That's time and money being wasted.
We're paying for that, absolutely.
Right? So her whole position, and this is beyond the ABK thing, is that I'm just gonna block things and then see if I can wait companies out, right? Which is not the job, right? That's not the job. So while I don't normally agree with Republicans on much, I totally agree with them on this stuff, because it's like, listen, like, you are out there to do a job, right? Not add your political agenda to it. Right, do a job, review the documentation as it comes in, and see if it actually is harmful to consumers or not. Right. She's doing none of that. So I wish she, at the very least, if she was at least reviewing these things and saying, well, here are the things why I think that this creates a problem, and she could back it with some absolute factual information, then she wouldn't look crazy on being roasted by Congress and looking crazy. Right. So. I don't know how much they can actually do about it, but the good.
Well, they can certainly not give her any more money. That's for damn sure.
Right. If they don't, if they don't fund her war chest, it's going to be a lot harder to pull this kind of crap off, right? But also, it does present some good sound bites for Microsoft and other companies when they take her to court. Right, so it's like your Congress doesn't even believe in you. So, like, come on, right? So,
I mean, I know, like, what I edited was one-sided. It was basically just like crap and con.
If you added her side, her side was basically
it was
can you give us
terrible.
The documentation of what you were doing related to that? And she's like, I don't know. We'll see what we can do. You'll see what you could do about it.
I know.
Yeah, you're.
I know. Yeah. And the representative from Florida was like, I think you can get those to us. Was basically like, I would think you would be able to get. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I think you're gonna want to do that. Like, who the hell do you think you're talking to?
Yeah, for sure. She has a lot of audacity just pulling that crap off. So.
Yeah, I did put it out on my Twitter. I made an 8-minute video, and it did have some of Khan's responses in there, and I did that on purpose because I wanted everyone to see how effing bad her responses were, because all it basically was regurgitated crap every time she was asked a question, and that was basically, we're following the letter of the law. We're going, everything's by the book, guys, and wasn't answering fucking anything. It was perfect PR BS speak, and I was just like, you know what? But I was one of the guys before, I've been on Boom Show a bunch of times. Obviously, I'm one of the panel members, and he always asks, like, do you guys think Khan's going away? And I'm always like, nah, the Democrats are going to keep her, like, because that's how politics are. I don't know. She might be fired. I think she might be screwed. I'm not sure anymore.
Did you say dump on Khan? Dump on Khan?
Yeah, dump on Khan.
Chaka Khan.
There you go.
Chaka Khan.
No, you're definitely right. Like, her responses were at best laughable, and that's the thing, is like, she can't PR her way out of a paper bag, and it's embarrassing, honestly, because if you're going to get into a position like that, you need to be able to take the heat, you need to be able to dish it. She can't. All she's doing is she's going to canned responses because she can't make anything up herself to justify her decisions and what she's done. Like, it's embarrassing. And like you were saying, is like, be it Republican, be it Democrat, whatever, like politics, whatever. But that being said, like, I don't care who you put in that position, as long as you put someone in that position that is either skilled and meets the prerequisites for the job. And if they don't, or if they fudge it on the resume or something, it turns out that they're full of hot air, like this situation, you replace them. You
Yep.
don't keep them in, you get rid of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, be it Republican, Dem, I don't care who you have in there. You put the people who are competent in. If you find out the person's not competent, you get them the hell out.
Absolutely. Dave,
Record,
what do you
we
think,
have
brother?
so many amazing people in the chat.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I just thank you everybody for being here, and please, if you have a question, you can ask it in the chat, or you can actually, Retro, you got that link you can drop in there real quick.
I'm sorry,
for,
which one?
speak pipes.
Sure
Oh,
can, sir.
Yeah,
Let me
that way if
Gammy
people want
just
to,
do a little
they can just
copy and
click on it.
paste.
And we
Yeah.
want to check to see if anybody has left any messages yet.
Yeah,
for
I
Speak
just
Pipe.
I just checked.
That's
Checked.
cool.
We're
That's cool.
good. Yeah.
Don't be shy, Infinite. I know you can even sing us something if you want to.
Yeah, sing
We'll
us a
play it
song,
for you.
Infinite. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. People are like, "Oh, Retri's pissed." Yeah, I kind of am. Like, I don't like seeing. Well, first of all, like, I hate that politicians are involved in this at all. It effing sucks, dude. Like, now they're gonna have a piece of everything. If you think this is the end, this is just the start.
Just the
Like
beginning.
now everything is going to get combed through, almost no matter how small it is. And now we got government directly involved with everything to do with gaming, and that is not something I like. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at what I'm just.
Clears my vocal cords. All right, brother. We'll be
All
waiting.
right.
We'll be waiting for your song.
Let us know when you dropped it, so we'll play it.
Still owes me a sing off at some point.
Ooh,
We haven't done the
challenge?
duel.
I'm digging
That would be great. I'll watch that.
One of these
Discord.
days,
Somebody
one
was
of these-
asking too about the Discord link. Here it is.
I'll bring it. Do you got it, or do you not?
I'm
No,
just
but,
gonna take it off
you can-
my coat, clear
I
my
can do it.
throat.
I heard that.
Let me clear my throat.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. So I learned Discord likes. I have to always get a new link because I didn't realize, because I'm a newbie, that it dies after X amount of time. So people are
Oh.
like, dude, yes.
Oh, well, let me know because
There-
he probably clicked on the one that's in the description, and that I guess.
Oh
it needs
yeah,
to be updated, so.
kill the description one. I'm gonna update it every single show into the
cool.
community. So if you guys want to join us for gaming and stuff, click on that, join the Discord. It's wide open. It's your Discord is my Discord, is everybody's Discord. It's for everyone to play games together. Like we just did this past weekend, played some COD. I like playing Fortnite and a bunch of other games. So yeah, join us, guys. We would love to have you. Dave, what are your thoughts about what we were just talking about with this?
To wrap things up, I'll just say this: that on that subject anyway.
Sure.
That I think she's people say she's doing her job. She was brought in to be a hatchet. She really was. They want to big tech, blah blah blah. But the thing that they're missing or missed from the beginning is that even though it's a big company, one of the biggest in the world, that Microsoft in this particular instance, this particular market of gaming, they are not big.
Right.
They are not the dominant force. So they are, and I'm sure they don't want them, quote unquote, to take over and be quote the number one. But number 3 is where they're at. And even after this acquisition, and it's going to go through soon, once it's done, it's going to be still going to be number 3. Still, after this is done, they'll be number 3 in the market. I mean, it'll give them the momentum and what they call a more fair playing field to to be able to grow, And so, and I think that's what we need. I think it's, and all Sony ponies that are out there that are bashing the deal and all this. Some of them really don't get it, that even though you may think, oh, they're going to pull this, they've said they're not pulling Call of Duty. And the whole thing is they're going to make your brand, Sony, work harder for everyone.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's the best
exactly.
thing that can happen to gaming today. And that's why we talk about it. That's why we brought it up again today on the show. Sorry, I know some people people are tired of it. We're all tired of it too. We want it to be done because we're ready for who's next.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's going to be another show we're going to do in a couple weeks.
That's gonna be a special show. I can't wait to talk about that because I got a long list that people are just gonna roll their eyes. I'm gonna sound like Drawn TJ when he's on Boom's podcast, fucking buy everything. Because I don't care. Because when they buy everything, we win.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Goodness.
So yeah. So I guess we can move on. This is kind of a good segue to move on to the CMA side of it. So obviously, from what we're hearing, right, CMA this Wednesday, the 26th, is supposedly going to make their decision and their last remedies, if there are any, what's going on with the ABK and Microsoft merger, and if they're going to basically allow it. I guess my question to you guys, and I'm sure I know the answer, and we probably all know the answer, but do you think CMA is going to give this a thumbs up? And a secondary question, do you guys think there's going to be any weird concessions that come out of left field that maybe we didn't see, or anything beyond what we already know that might come from the CMA to make them feel good about this acquisition? I'll start with you, Pixel.
Pixel
Bit. Yep.
G this time.
Yeah, I think it passes. You know, they once they remove the notion of the councils being an issue for this deal, that's pretty much was the end of it for me. I mean, like that's the biggest company complaining the most was Sony, right, which is a console competitor. And now that they're saying, you know what, we don't think that they can foreclose Sony, which they can't, right? So I don't see them having an issue at this point. So you know, Microsoft made those moves for those you know, competing cloud platforms, which aren't really competing platforms, because on those other platforms, you have to own the product before you can use the product, right? Which is not like Game Pass. So I don't think they're gonna add any console concessions in there related to it. I don't think they're gonna say that Microsoft needs to give Sony anything related to Call of Duty or any other Activision Blizzard IP, right? And I think at the most they're gonna say that they have to have access for other cloud providers, right? But that does not mean that it needs to be in PS Now. That doesn't mean any of that. It means
all right. That was my next question.
Nope, not I forgot what the classification is called, where it's you know, you can actually just rent the game on the service as opposed to owning a game on like Steam or whatever and then getting access to stream it on the service, right? Those are two different types of cloud platforms. Sony's platform is more like, well, you know, a cheap version of Game Pass, but they don't do day and date games on that service for the most part. So there's no reason for Microsoft to have to offer a card to them at all on that service. It doesn't mean that they won't, right, on their own, right? Because Microsoft is in the business of making money. But in terms of a regulator saying, hey, you need to give these people something that you pay $69 billion FU dollars for, yeah, I don't see it. So yeah, I think it you know, just like all
do you think they would have like maybe just the option though? Like if the CMA is like, you have to at least allow Sony to have the option to have that on their cloud-based system, because I mean, it's not, I mean, even for like Nintendo, everybody else, it's not like they're paying for it. You know what I mean? It's not coming free.
Yeah,
through these 10-year contracts.
I think at the most they may request an option, right, on the service, but you know, it won't be like, oh, you get an option and you have to give them a reduced price or whatever, right? Sony is not going to want to pay for that option. So for folks who are imagining a day where Call of Duty is going to show up on Game Pass and PS Now on the same day, keep imagining. It's not happening. It's not happening. It'll show up on Steam. It may show up on the Epic Store. It may show up on other services, but it ain't showing up on PS Now day one. It's not happening. Sony's not, even if Microsoft offered it, Sony won't want to pay it, right? Because they're gonna have to pay a boatload to get it. So,
that would be a lot of money.
It'd be a lot of money, right? So, and you know, Microsoft would have every right to say, "Hey, you got to give us $70 for every person who plays it on your streaming service," right? So, I don't think the regulators are going to go that far, right? I think I'm not even sure they're going to push too hard with the cloud stuff, with the other services, because it's a nascent market, right? It's a new up and coming market, so they would be in very deep water playing games and trying to force you know, a company to do things with their product in a market that we don't know where it's going, right?
Almost doesn't exist.
Exactly,
so
literally doesn't even exist, right? It's a blip, right? So yeah, I don't think we'll see anything crazy. If there is any concessions, it'll be anything like similar to what they did for Nintendo, where you got to offer something, but that 10-year deal, all that stuff, off the table. Microsoft won't have to offer them 10 years of anything, and I would wager they actually won't offer them a direct 10-year deal. They will make a deal.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think Microsoft. If the way I look at it is, Microsoft gains nothing and loses nothing by offering them a deal after it's approved. They don't gain anything. If it's approved with no concessions for console, I don't got to offer you a deal. It doesn't mean that they're not going to put it on PlayStation. They are.
Right. I see what you're saying.
But giving them like extended guarantee.
So you're just saying like it can be status quo without a 10-year contract, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Right.
And basically, it just means that Sony has no guarantee, right? Because
Right.
there is value in creating uncertainty in the market, which is that's what Sony does, right? They basically eliminate certain games off of Xbox, which creates uncertainty in the Xbox market. So now Microsoft will be able to use COD to create uncertainty. It's going to come on your service this year, next year, but who knows?
I like that take. I don't agree with it, but I like that you're. No, I'm just saying because most people think that they will give them the 10-year contract, and I do too, only because of it's Microsoft. Like if it was reversed, I just think they will because of who they are, and they're always trying to be the good guy. I don't want them to be that guy. I want them to kick you in the teeth guy. But I like that you're saying that they won't do that, Pixel, because I don't hear a lot of people saying that. So
what was the original deal that Microsoft offered them back in January of 2022?
3 years, I believe.
Yeah. That sounds.
And then went to 5. He's like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like I thought 3 years was plenty.
3, and then I'll give you another 3 right up into the PS6. Like, let's talk about it, right? Because if I can offer you 3 years at a time, that means the numbers, yesterday's price ain't today's price.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
They were basically giving up their ability to leverage Call of Duty by saying we're going to give you 10 years, right?
Absolutely.
I'm giving you all my leverage, but you didn't agree to that. So am I going to give you all my leverage again? I don't know. I'm not, like I said, they're going to make a deal, but not that deal.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, man. I really do. I hope you're right.
We'll see. Yeah. But the one thing I do know is there will be a lot of salt on Wednesday. And I'm gonna have a lot.
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun on Twitter. So
I'll be here for it. You're gonna get a lot of likes from me.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Dave? You look like you were. I didn't know if you were gonna say something.
I'll make comments after Cypher and you.
Oh. Yeah. So you mentioned that you haven't heard a lot of people taking that same stance that Pixelbit G has taken. Well, I'm right there in lockstep with.
All right.
And here's the thing, right? They had the opportunity to get their 10 years. They balked at it. They said, no, we don't want that. We just want to see your deal get canned. That's all we want. They were out and loud about it. They were very vocal about the fact that, no, I don't want your deal. I'm not going to give you a deal. I'm going to dig my feet into the ground, and I'm going to be as stubborn as possible. So I think, maybe there's still a deal to be had at some point in time, but I think that is a very big key factor that maybe a lot of people aren't really thinking about, is that this thing is ending potentially without concessions to Sony in the same way that all these other places are getting. And that's a big deal for Sony, because those other guys, like you said, they've got that confirmation. This thing's going to work out. This thing's going to be good, and it's no big deal. They've got their 10-year guarantee. Sony did not get it. They lost their opportunity. Maybe there's that 3-year, kind of like what Pixelbit was saying, is like maybe they give them a 3-year at some point just to be like, okay, we'll be nice about it to an extent. But I guarantee you, just like he was saying, yesterday's pricing isn't the same as today's pricing.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that 3-year. You're going to get a lot less of a favorable deal for your guys' situation, because you were a pain in my ass while we were trying to be the nice guy. I think the other thing, because you had mentioned also, like, if we thought that this thing was actually going to go through, I think something that we saw that was kind of a bit of a tell sign that maybe this thing is already set and people already know where it's going is we found out that Sony just picked up that recent dev studio, right? That was a couple days ago.
Fire or something.
Yeah, Firewalk.
Firewalk. Thank you.
So with that being said, you know, if you're Sony and you find out, okay, this thing's done, it's closed.
Right. You don't do that, right?
Well, if there's a possibility you can still overturn it and you can still be like, okay, this thing's getting canceled, they're not going to get the deal, then yes, you continue to play the poor boy game.
Exactly.
You know, oh, what was us? Our Sony development teams, we just can't handle what Call of Duty would do to us if it were Microsoft property. But if you know that it's going through and you're a little salty, maybe you start going back to trying to purchase places because you already know there's nothing you can do. So I feel like it's maybe a signal that we're in the final stretch of this and it is going the way we think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. I like that too. I kind of thought that too when I saw that. I was like, do you make that move? If you know what I mean?
You don't throw stuff out there. If you want it to be ammo against you, you throw it out there.
Yeah.
But look at Phil. Look at Phil during the Video Game Awards, right? When they panned in on him,
yes,
and he had like nothing to show.
Yeah,
that was the most painful look on his face, and you could really probably almost imagine what he was sitting there saying to himself. He's like, "Yeah, just
wait,
hang strong. Just you wait until we get to the stretch of this thing, and then you're going to see the hellfire that you're going to get." So,
right. You know why that
I saw the shirt. It's awesome.
It's interesting because that Hellfire Club is fire.
Thanks,
Pun intended.
Because we heard, I think we heard about this a couple of months ago, right? From there was like a job posting or something that and somebody said, "Hey, it looks like that Sony had purchased another studio," and they stayed mum, right? So the timing of them saying, "Yeah, okay, we did," like now, it does seem like that they're finally like giving up and saying, "Okay, I guess the jig is up and we need to get back to business," right? So
yeah, a little sus, as the kids say. I feel you. Like it definitely, the timing is just it's a little off. So I definitely agree with that.
This close to that decision, you gotta figure something's gonna give.
No, absolutely. Dave, 2 cents.
Well, as I throw my 2 cents in, I agree with both of you guys. And I'll say this: Sony right now, in my opinion, they don't have to sign any kind of deal at all because they have a deal in place till 2024, which gives them exclusives.
Time.
They're also going to keep it off of Game Pass until at least 2024. Yep. That's a guaranteed. So people thinking, as soon as the deal's done, here comes my COD. No.
Here comes your old COD. Yeah, exactly. You're not your new COD.
Exactly.
A bunch of old CODs.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I think that's okay.
And the last thing I'll say on this, so I'll let you speak, is that when you think about Game Pass, we love Game Pass. We know what Game Pass is about. People, we know it's strong. A lot of, some people that don't want to admit it or don't want, it's all fodder. No, it's not. It's what Sony is really scared of more than anything. And the reason that even if they make it available to them, that Sony doesn't want to put COD in their service day and date or whatever, A, they have to pay for it, and B, it's that's a $70 per game that they're not going to be able to get their percentage of if they sell it on their platform. They don't want it digitally. They want to be able to sell it to each of their people. And over time, more and more people, especially once the quote unquote the 2024 season is up, that's when people are going to realize, and Microsoft can really push it, that I don't necessarily need to buy my box when I can buy either an Xbox or I can play it on my Most people won't play it on their phone. But yeah, on my phone, on my tablet, my PC, streaming on my TV, and I don't necessarily need to spend and buy a console, and I can get that game for $15 a month, play it till my friends are tired of it, and then go on to the next, cancel, upgrade, whatever you want. It's going to be the game changer that most people aren't really anticipating. But Game Pass and the family plan, whenever that kicks in, holy shit,
I'm
people.
waiting for that right there.
Yeah.
You make a great point because that Sony's looking to lose that $30 per game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was at 30% per game, right? They're looking to lose that 30%. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
very big deal.
To convert
Yeah, and-
convert that money into a $15 sub per month. So
Yeah, yeah. And here's Microsoft after the deal's done.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Just think.
Cha-ching.
Yep, that's probably the best part of this whole thing, right? Is like when this thing goes through, Microsoft gets to see the residual payment off of any purchases of those games from here on. And so they get to basically sit there and be like, thank you for paying for our sequel. Thank you for paying for this sequel.
Yeah. Hey.
Like it's literally a self cash creating money grab for them.
Yeah.
Like, it is a win on that aspect alone.
Absolutely. It's a monster that feeds
right?
itself.
That's
And
right.
with that said,
Here comes the money.
You got him queued up.
all right. So
I want
Let's
you
go.
money out there.
I can't play anymore if we get in trouble.
Nice.
But anyway, go ahead, Retri. I'm sorry.
No. I think
I'm
Pixel was
excited
saying
tonight.
something. Were you saying something, Barry?
I'm sorry, Pix.
No. You're good. You're good. I was just saying that's you got it nicely queued up there. Very nice. Very nice.
That's all right. He's always ready. That's a
Not
that's a
always.
radio experience right there for you. There is a small possibility, and I'll just throw this out there, that the CMA decision could come tomorrow or Tuesday, and that's based off of like Xbox being invited to the event. And me and RSJ were trying to figure this out the other day when we're playing COD together. She's like, I think there's an event in the UK. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I couldn't remember what the hell it was.
Yes.
And that was the UK Interactive Entertainment that Microsoft got invited to the exact same day that the CMA is supposed to make their final decision. So the UK Interactive Entertainment, or UKI, is supposed to take place on April 26th as well. And so some people are theorizing that they're going to say something, that the CMA is going to come out and, before that. I don't know if I kind of buy that myself. I think both things can happen both on Wednesday. I think they're probably going to stick to that date, but you never know. It's not set in stone.
I wouldn't get too hype about them moving it up, right? I would just wait for Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I would set my expectations to Wednesday, and then if it happens earlier, even better. You know what I mean? Let the salt just pour all over Twitter.
But start preparing your salt tonight. Cook it. Make sure you got
That's
a little salt in it.
Get
Make sure the salt is actually tasty.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Bath all nice and ready. Get it all ready so you can dip your toes in, and then you can submerge yourself. Make sure that water is just the right temperature so you can ease your way into it.
Oh man, because we all like what's on the grill, right?
Yeah.
Baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Red chili, baby back.
Retri, there's a question.
You're good. Yeah, let's hit it. Sour Blow 18. What's up, brother? Question. Now that Ubisoft have their COD competitor, could you see Sony trying to make a deal for that X-Defiant and try to hype it up as the next big thing? That's a great question, Sour Blow. I'll go to who am I going to? I'll go to Pixel. I'll go to Pixel on this. What do you think, brother?
Is X-Defiant really that good?
Well, okay. X-Defiant did, I don't know. I haven't played it yet, but X-Defiant has surpassed 1 million players in its closed beta. And that's a closed beta. So that's pretty impressive and a little surprising from my standpoint.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you?
I mean,
what do you
Sony
think?
does like to latch themselves onto things if they can. So I mean, if there's a possibility that they can throw some money at it and pretend that it's there, they're definitely going to do it.
But
will it matter? I don't know.
Pixel. That doesn't sound like organic growth to me, though.
I knew you were going to go there.
Interesting, because organic generally sounds like bullshit to me.
Absolutely.
Well, it is grown in it. So
it is grown in bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
So, I mean, if they have an opportunity to do so, they might. But they've also spent a lot of money on, on smaller acquisitions. They have Destiny now, so I
love how we call it's so funny to call Destiny small, but in regard to the bigger picture, it's like little guys.
I mean,
Destiny.
when what you're buying owns one IP.
I know
the other guy's buying owns every IP. It's small, right? I mean,
That's
it is
crazy.
what it is.
You're right. Yep.
So, the Activision got IPs going back since Atari. So
that's right.
Us OGs know that, right? I want Pitbull for Harry back in the game. So
let's go.
It is what it is, right? But I would think that Sony would want to focus their money on improving their multiplayers for themselves and not try to latch on to somebody else's, because it's still at the end of the day Ubisoft's game. It doesn't belong to them. So if they want money that's going to sustain them going forward, they need to build their own thing. So I would expect them to even if they get a marketing deal or something, try to focus their attention on their own IPs and not burn money on a Ubisoft property. So
yeah, what do you think, Cypher? Do you think there's a possibility for Sony to grab this Ubisoft the COD killer, as the kids are calling it?
I do think that it is a possibility, especially with Ubisoft being in the current situation
because they need money.
Right. Right now they would give you something at the corner of the street for like a cup of coffee and $5. So I think right now they're definitely in a situation they'd be willing to wheel and deal, right? I guess the biggest thing is Sony actually going to see that and view it as an actual competitor? But also, you got to think about Sony and like the financial side of things. Are they willing to actually adopt that and then put in all the money that it's going to take to, bolster it to be a Call of Duty competitor as time goes on?
Right.
Because Sony, if we've discovered anything over the last little bit, Sony is not super keen on supporting something for a long period of time, especially if it's not making back that money. They don't like to have those franchises or IPs that are the loss leader, right? Like they don't like to play those games. They don't like to eat that cost to see the benefit that might be coming 5-10 years down the road.
Yeah, they're very Google-esque, as I like to say. Like they, if it doesn't get a return instantly, they're like, bye. They're like, don't even give it a chance to possibly flourish. So
that's not entirely true. I mean, they have in years past revised games that didn't do well the first time, like Uncharted, right? So maybe that's more of a current.
You're right.
That was also a different Sony than what we.
No. I said. So maybe what we're saying now is current Sony, right? I don't want to say.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I think you're right in saying current Sony versus old school Sony for sure.
Yeah, because I think even right now there's the big question mark, right? Like VR2 ended up selling something like 0.03% adoption rate across the amount of systems that they've sold. And it's like, oof, that's rough numbers. How long are they going to support that? What are they going to do? What's the next steps on that? Are they going to see a price change? If they do a price change, it's going to piss off all the early adopters. Like there's a lot of question marks on that.
You can kind of VR is kind of answering itself already, right? When was it released? And then you tell me what games do you know that are coming for it?
Yeah,
right.
What games? Right? They had their initial lineup and whoop. So
It's going to continue more and more. We're going to see either those games are just kind of going to dissolve over time, or I mean, maybe they'll come out and cancel them as time goes on. But I mean, maybe they're willing to keep spending the money on it. But those numbers were pretty dismal for the start off on that. And we all know that's mainly because of the price point. That price point was ridiculous. The tech
this day and age,
is great.
Tech, right? Exactly.
Yeah, the tech was great. The price point was a miss, and they're seeing that very much right in their face. So I don't know, because Ubisoft has so much overhead. Right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
So much overhead as far as employees go and stuff like that. You've got a bazillion little groups that end up jumping in to participate in working on these games. You saw the last Assassin's Creed. You saw how many devs were listed on those credits. It's insane.
It's their COD. It's their COD. Assassin's Creed is their COD.
So the big question would be: are they able to? Are they in a position or willing to actually put that money down there and make this thing an actual COD killer? And I don't know. I don't think so.
I think I'm with you. I think the whole free to play thing, I think they're trying to make their Fortnite, or I don't even know if it should be considered a COD killer. I think Fortnite's probably more realistic to what they're going for. I don't, as bad as Ubisoft needs the cash flow, I actually don't see this. I don't see Ubisoft agreeing to this. I think they're taking a chance, and I think they're going to try to make X Defiant a thing, and you know what? And I hope they do. I hope we need more competitors, just like we needed Battlefield not to release when it released. Huge mistake. Everyone told them not to. They didn't listen, and they ate it. They ate it hard. So maybe X Defiant will be good. I'll definitely be trying it and playing it as a multiplayer guy. I like to try those games out, so I'll give it its due. But if it's crap, then I'll move on. I got plenty of other games to play. So, but yeah, my vote is no. Dave, what do you think? Do you think Ubisoft is willing to work with Sony on this?
Here's my thought. We know it's going to be a multi-plat, and if they were to treat it, and if it actually is as good as or close to as good as a COD is, they could actually treat it like they do COD. In other words, get exclusive rights to certain parts, certain maps, certain things. So it doesn't cost them a ton of money, but then it helps Ubisoft develop the game even more to continue it. So I mean, it could be a win-win, and it could still be available on other platforms. Right? Exactly, it could be available everywhere. So that's if it's quote unquote necessarily the COD killer, but if it's as good as or close to as good as COD and gets people really wanting to play it, then it would make sense, because to them that could be their new COD without having to invest in other things, and it can still make their games a service, or at least tie them over for a few years until they had their own shit
so their marketing rights or null and void. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
And there was one quick little thing I wanted to say. There was a message here. Will from was it Dwack?
Doc
50?
Doc K?
Sorry,
Doc 50. I don't know.
Doc 50. Will MS allow a Sony shooter in Game Pass? The answer is Sony wouldn't want to.
Yeah, Sony.
Microsoft would welcome it, but 100%. Sony wouldn't, because that's the whole point. They don't want to feed the beast. And Game Pass is the beast, in my humble opinion. I wouldn't think that Sony would even offer it to them. They want it to be exclusive on their thing. Yeah, maybe PC and their console. But go ahead.
Yeah, I just agreeing with you. The only thing that Sony is going to quote unquote allow is Bungie's next whatever it is, because they're not going to because they don't have a choice. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. There could be some weird contract that says no, Bungie, you're not putting anything on Game Pass, but oh sure as shit be on Xbox. So thanks Bungie for being Bungie and putting those contracts in place to make sure that their games go evereverywhere. So which is awesome for us.
You can guarantee it's not going on Game Pass. Didn't they remove Destiny from Game Pass the minute they purchased the right,
exactly.
So yeah,
for sure.
I mean, There is still always the possibility that they could surprise us, though, right? Because you look at something like, I agree. I don't think they would necessarily be willing to even put that on to Game Pass. They don't want to feed the beast. But if it's, the devs making that decision, if Bungie's like, we want this decision, just like what happened with MLB, right? Like MLB said, you will make this multi-plat. You will suck it up and you will deal with it. And then they came in, they're like, hey, how about that Game Pass money? And so then they started etching a deal. So, I mean, there's always a possibility we could see it. It's probably less likely just because of the current relationships.
Right.
But you do know that Phil Spencer's a big fan of Bungie and Destiny and everything. Like, he's still in good communication with a lot of those guys. So maybe. I mean,
very true.
They have the opportunity.
One quick comment I'll make on that is that they do have the ability to set up their own things, but Sony has basically closed the loopholes because like Death Stranding is available on PC Game Pass, and now in ongoing contracts they've oh shit, we got a hole here. And I think any other contract from now on
ain't gonna have those holes.
They're not gonna have those holes. Now, the MLB is the only difference for the fact that the MLB is Major League Baseball. Period.
Right. Versus the dev themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
I do agree with that. There's definitely a difference there.
But
it is
like playing Death Stranding on Game Pass PC.
Yeah. It is weird to see Sony pop up on your Xbox, especially if you play MLB. Like, is this real life? 3 years in a row. It's so weird. But hey, that's good for the MLB. Doubled their doubled their sales. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Next topic is.
That's more videos too, don't you?
I do. We're getting there. New Xbox exclusive in the works. So this is, if you guys don't know, a rumor about inXile having a secondary game coming up, and people are just the internet's going nuts trying to figure out what is this new possible game that inXile could be working on. Guys, thoughts? I've heard everything from the Cyberpunk thing, which is weird because I thought that was the first game we had heard rumors on, was that there was a Cyberpunk game coming from inXile, some RPG, and now people are thinking maybe this is Fallout, that inXile could be doing like a not over the shoulder, like
a new Vegas or something.
Yeah, exactly.
New
Vegas. Was it Obsidian? Which one did it? New Vegas. Was it inXile or was it Obsidian?
That was
Vegas was Obsidian. Yeah. So I think people are kind of saying like maybe a Fallout 1 or Fallout 2, but maybe like kind of like the Ascent, like not an actual like first person, but like top down. Thank you. That was the word I was just escaping. It was top down. I don't know, guys. Do you guys have any idea what or any ideas what this could possibly be?
I don't have an idea, but I have what I would want them to be doing.
Yeah, share.
So
what would you?
I don't know if people know that this studio is like, their Wasteland franchise is basically what created Fallout, right? That is
right, exactly.
Fallout derived from Wasteland. So the fun thing I like about Microsoft's collection of studios at this point is there's a lot of interoperabilities between all the studios, right? Obsidian, inXile, Bethesda, right? They all have there's some relationships between those studios and the IPs that they currently control, right? So these guys also have the Bard's Tale, right? Which is for us old heads, it's actually a big RPG, right? Like the Bard's Tale 4. I don't know if anybody played it because nobody talks about it, but it's actually a really good. It's a good RPG. So my point is they have some chops in doing first person games, right? They don't just do over the top games, right?
Right. Okay.
Yep. So what I would like to see is make Wasteland a first-person game.
Oh, okay.
Because the Wasteland, like Wasteland 3 is a super deep RPG, right?
Yes.
But because of its style, it may not be, it's not as mainstream because of its, because of the way they present the game, right? But if you played the game, right, the quest lines, the mechanics, like the actions and the way that you fight and deal with the world is really complex. Like it's a deep RPG. So I can imagine what they could do with that world in a first person viewpoint to get like everybody to like play Wasteland, right? So my experience with Wasteland goes back to like the first Wasteland, and I think I may have played it like, I don't know, the Commodore or something like that back in the days, but I remember I remember the ending.
I don't need to laugh. I'm 42, so I'm there with you. I know what you're talking about. That's why I'm laughing.
I'll be 50 this year, so I just I remember playing that game back in the days, and it was like, this is, at the time, it was mind blowing, right? Like an RPG with guns. Like, what is this?
Right.
Their their mechanics are more rooted in like pure RPG systems than Fallout currently is, right? So imagine that Wasteland kind of world with the Rangers, but as a in that first person style, even do something crazy and do a third person action game, in the Wasteland series. So that's my hope for them. I don't have any ideas what they're doing, but it'd be nice to take that world and flesh it out into a way that a casual audience would like it, right? They are more visual, right? Most gamers are, they're more visual. They want to see like a big open world and something that's like right in their face, and the top down thing doesn't do it, right? So their games are actually great games that sort of fall to the wayside because they are a niche genre, right? So take that IP, make it into a genre that more people will accept, and put it on Game Pass.
I like that. I like that idea. I really do. Cypher, any thoughts about this? It can be what you think they're doing, or like Pixel Pit G, what's on his wish list, which I really liked.
I really like the idea of seeing a Fallout New Vegas, but that being said, I definitely like Pixel Bit's idea. I think that would actually be really cool. Those Wasteland games are pretty rad. It'd be cool to see that visited in that different format, right? Like that'd be cool. It's like when we saw Gears of War shift over to Gears Tactics, or when you saw Halo bounce over to Halo Wars. Like it's cool to do. It's cool to do more of those things in that same universe, but change it up and change the approach. I mean, you look at Minecraft. Minecraft is a prime example. You got Minecraft, you have Minecraft Legends, you have Minecraft Dungeons. Like you have all these different ways for people to get into your games, just in case like there's one that doesn't necessarily resonate with you, because not everyone is a Wasteland 3 top down type of person,
right? Absolutely.
But there are a lot of people who are into first person or even like a third person. So if you throw something like that in there in that same vein, you could definitely have yourself a good hit on your hands, especially considering the source content and source material that they're going off of. If they use that, there's a lot of story there to be told, so it'd be really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's also a part of this story that kind of frustrates me a little bit, because it's like there was the whole rumor about the steampunk RPG that NXIL was doing, which got me really excited because I like steampunk, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And then you hear, oh, they're doing a second game, and I'm just like, dude, just make one. Like, how big? I can't remember how big NXIL is. I'm sure, right? Exactly. Like, focus on the one. Maybe it's just the idea, you know what I mean, is out there for the second one, and who knows, like what that means. It could just be an absolute pre-production, and they're just writing it. You know what I mean? Which is, the writers have already probably written whatever the steampunk game is, and they're moving on to the next thing. I kind of am just like, I hope they're not making two games at the exact same time on the development side, because I want a good In Exile game that has the full power of the whole studio behind it, so we can get more games kind of like what Tango did with Hi-Fi Rush, which a lot of us assumed was like a little indie darling, and we find out later from the devs themselves it was in 5 years in development, and it's a freaking fantastic game, and that's kind of what I want to see In Exile do, is just put all their efforts towards this steampunk thing for myself. Now, Dave, what do you think? Any thoughts? Oh, go ahead, Cypher, if you're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, so from a quick search online, so I know that they did end up bumping up their source. What was it? 2018, they ended up bumping up to, they added 30% more to their employee base.
Okay.
It puts them somewhere between 51 to 200 employees, but it sounds like it lands right around that 100, maybe 110.
Yeah, I'm seeing like 120.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were at, but I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong.
So that's, I mean, that's not bad. You look at what they've managed to do in the past with how little they had. I mean, they were going into Wasteland 3 with that lower amount, I think, initially. And then they got that bolstered support when they brought on more people. So maybe they can handle it, but I definitely agree with you. It'd be nice for them to focus on one, not spread too thin if they can avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, thoughts
Well,
about this In Exile stuff?
Well, in I can't even say it.
In Exile.
In Exile. Okay. Feel like I'm talking about a country band or something.
Like you are in exile.
Exactly.
I am. Anyway, but yes, I mean, there's so many things it could be. I want more, and we all want more. But if you take a step back in the big picture of how many studios Microsoft has and how many games we know that they're working on that haven't been talked about yet, that are like, that have been like quiet for a long time. I mean, even, was it Double Fine? Their game's out and done and ready to go. And
yeah, we got no clue.
I bet they're working on something, and there's a lot of studios that they have, like, and soon to be 30 plus studios in-house, and hopefully a few more that they're gonna snag after this deal is done. Who's next? But when that happens, I need to get that Goldberg line. I gotta get that thing. But yeah, but they I have no idea what it's gonna be. I'm just hopefully we're gonna hear something at the game show. I'm thinking, and I agree with you 1,000% that Microsoft has 2 versions of the show ready to go. They have one if the deal is not done.
Yep.
And one if the deal is done. And if the deal is done, woo, good time. But all I can say is even if they don't get the deal done before then, whenever the deal is done, we're still going to have another big roundtable discussion. Phil and his friends, where he gets to sit around and drop lines like,
"This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists."
I'm confused. What does that mean exactly? What are these platforms?
Platforms are anything but PlayStation. That's
our ecosystem. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change some verbiage going into the future for sure. It's like, oh my god, get over yourself, guys. The ecosystem, everywhere. We're everywhere. Calm down. All right, so let's move on to the next subject, and that is this viral video from these developers on this game called Unrecord. And let me put this in here so we can watch it. There's gonna be no audio for obvious reasons. YouTube. Let's make sure this works because it might not, because the other one didn't earlier. Yeah, it's giving me trouble. Sorry, hold on. Let me remove that. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna dump out. Yeah, I'm gonna dump out these videos because for some reason I think I loaded them too early into the podcast and none of them want to play. So let me redo that. It won't take me long.
So with that being said, mentioning kind of what you were talking about, right? Like the plan A, plan B scenario for them with the game show, it does make you start to wonder, right? Like with that plan B, if it doesn't go through, like what are those things that potentially they have already lined up? And if plan A goes through, they push those back. Obviously, they push it maybe back to like Gamescom or maybe another event or something. But it does get you wondering, like, okay, if this doesn't go through, it's that scorched earth scenario. Who do they have lined up, and are those folks still going to be lined up? Most likely, I would assume. Once this is all done with, is there anyone right off the top of your head that you could think of that you think is just an obvious that they would pick up right off the bat?
Sobo. Definitely a Sobo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's just low-hanging fruit. Like, I really enjoyed their last game, and I think if you're going by like just past relationships and whatnot, Asobo makes more sense than anybody to me. It might not be the sexiest one, but it sure as heck. I'm after playing A Plague's Tale, and it just blew my mind. And they won best narrative at the BAFTAs, which is what I said. I said my best narrative game last year was A Plague's Tale, and BAFTAs agreed. So I think Asobo is the obvious choice and just the easy pickup with not a lot of resistance per se. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. They're kind of the right choice. They fit the third person over the shoulder action adventure. Right? That's their thing.
Exactly.
They have one of those. They also have massive technical skill.
Yes.
So
speak on it.
Let's not forget that. Isn't that their own engine that game is running in? That looks.
Are you talking about the Microsoft?
No,
Flight Sim?
Asobo. No, Asobo.
Oh, that too. Yes.
That game is Asobo's engine, right? Isn't that the proprietary engine that they run?
I can't remember what the hell it's called. There's too many engines out there.
But I forgot the name of the engine. But it's gorgeous, right? And on top of that, they have Flight Sim, which is like is a technical masterpiece.
Right.
So those guys, if you don't grab them at this point, I don't know what you're doing. Like.
Yeah, the technology. I just want to bring that up because you spoke on technology, and I was thinking technology behind Flight Sim, and it's really the first massive game that is using the power of the cloud. That's that crap that we were promised many years ago. That is a perfect example, and Asobo now knows how to utilize it, and that is one of those things where you want to bring in Asobo with Microsoft and allow a lot of other games that can't do heavy lifting that could get maybe in the future a possible game like Starfield to 60 frames, 120 frames, because the cloud is taking care of the rest. You know what I mean? That's what excites me about Asobo in regards to technology as well.
Yeah, Infinite just posted Umbra just posted in the chat that is Zona engine.
Zuna, thank you. Yes. Yeah. See that? Yeah, I never would have remembered the name of that. Thank you, Umbra. I appreciate that.
And that was for Flight Sim, right?
Yeah. Was that Flight Sims, Umbra, or is that the other one? Okay.
So Plague Tale Innocence, it looks like, was actually Unreal 4.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Is it?
Okay. There you go. Yeah.
There you go, Infinite. There's your cash again. You get paid for that every time, right?
My choice.
Okay. I'll take the correction then. I thought it was a proprietary, but
that's all right.
Just another note. In general, remember that Activision fell into Microsoft's lap, right? It was never part of their plans. But remember, after they purchased Bethesda, they said we have more plans. Okay,
who's next?
So I would assume that whatever plans were in play prior to, as long as those studios have not been taken off the map, are fair game now. So just keep that in mind.
Exactly. And after this deal is done, to be clear, and everybody that's listening and watching to know, after this deal is done and paid for, the $68 billion, Microsoft still has $90 billion cash on hand to purchase whatever they want.
No one's off the table. That's why, like when I get a lot of pushback on Capcom because as like OCD was saying, I think it'd be a good time to grab a Japanese developer. I do agree with that, but I think Asobo's just the easiest. But when I say Capcom, money talks, man. Money talks, and then you have to go to your board and explain to them why Microsoft why you're saying no to they're going to offer them a huge premium, whether it be 40 or 50% above market cap, and you'd have to explain to your board why you're saying no to that. And I just don't see a world where the board you're getting fired, right? Like
I like this one right there.
By everyone. There you go, OCD. Exactly. Because we win when they buy.
Pixelbit. You were going to say something, Pixelbit? Go ahead.
No, that's it. But I would say that I know that some people want Capcom, but Sega is still the Sega's still the
Did you say this?
better deal. Yeah, they're still the better one. Shout out to Everborn Saga.
Where's Everborn?
I'm sure
you said it 3 times already, Pixel. He's gonna appear.
Oh shit, he's right behind me. Didn't even know.
Goodness.
But in terms of like portfolios and their ability to reach PC, console, and phone market, Sega is in that position already, right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I for me, it's Capcom is wishful thinking. Sega, just like I said, Asobo earlier, makes more sense, and it makes me sigh a little bit because we don't lose. Sega's a great get. Right, I don't make the sound like I'd rather have Capcom, but Sega, like nobody loses if we get Sega. In my opinion,
can you imagine Sega and then all the Dreamcast games in Game Pass?
Yeah, the back catalog. Yeah, Sega's IP is ridiculously deep. I don't know if anyone has as much IP as frickin' Sega outside of ABK. It's insane if you look at how many games they actually have. But I do have the Unrecord video ready to go if you want to let's show that.
Yep.
Turn down the volume here because Lord knows
I don't think it has the music, so you should be okay.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if this one.
Yeah, go for it.
Couldn't remember. All right, I'll turn it up a little bit. So this is the thing that's going viral out there. That's a pre-order on Steam right now. So apparently this is a real video game. People are debating, is this fake? Is this real?
Shots fired! Shots fired!
We'll discuss that. And I have no clue why they're pixelating out the CGI character's face.
Could be actors' rights that have.
Yeah, it absolutely could be.
Ooh, look at that.
I know. Someone's a really bad drone operator.
Who would stand out like that?
I don't know. I've seen RHETRI play Fortnite.
Oh, ouch! Ouch!
Just kidding.
Shots fired.
Just kidding.
It was more like Warzone this past weekend. If you watched that, that was a little embarrassing.
Where the fuck is Oscar?
Where the F is Oscar? Who's Oscar? I don't know.
The Grouch.
Gentlemen.
Grouch?
Oscar Goldman.
He's in the trash can, I swear.
That Quixel, those Quixel Mega scans are putting in heavy work right there.
Yeah, good point. First off, let me just start off. There's a lot of debate, so you guys can just answer this real quick, a little roundtable. Do you think this is legit? Do you think this is a real game? And then we'll go from there.
Whoever first, it doesn't matter.
I think it's really not going to run on any PC that you own.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's I am a budding Unreal developer, slowly and surely. But you can do that in Unreal. Absolutely, it will run. Absolutely, and they put a lot of effort into that. It looks great. In terms of a game, though, your reloading is happening in midair, right? So there are some things that don't appear to be gamified. Is that a word, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I don't know, right? It is like right on the border of something that I could see somebody making a game out of that, but it's also right at the edge of like it almost is like a film project, right? And never
right
game. So I would say not enough game elements for me to think that it actually will be a real game one day.
Okay. To be fair, it is on Steam pre-order now. I mean, I'm not
thing on Steam.
See, that's kind of what. Yeah. You're not. Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's not like me saying that does not equal real, right? But
I don't want Infinite to come after me right now, bro. This is what I'm saying, bro. I love Unreal too, but the problem with Unreal is that it allows you to do a lot. It allows people to build these really nice looking projects. Relatively simple. It's not simple, but there are a lot of tools that help you, right? So you can build something that is really close to looking like a game that's never coming out. So I'm a little concerned that we may be running into slightly more intricate scams. But I hope that becomes a real game. But I need a couple of more game elements, right? Show me a menu, show me the guy, like show me your loading animation actually being you pulling your clip from your holster, like like there's just something like where's your aiming reticle?
I'm
just saying, how are you hitting any targets? There's game parts that are not there, right? So to me it looks like a very intricate film project.
Listen, Pixel, you're just being, it's early build, bro. Like, now, see, I'm kind of...
Bro, as somebody who's been struggling to freaking put an early build together, trust me, the first thing you want to get right is how to fucking aim.
I love it.
You're trying to build your little first-person shooter. Yeah, you're trying to get that aim thing and your controls down early. So,
I hear you. This the whole Pixel. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, brother. When I first saw this, I was like, bullshit. Like my bullshit meter was going off like crazy. As someone who's like been creative, I've been in TV. Like I know how a lot. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm literally there right with the Pixel. I was just giving you shit. I kind of like I was saying to Dave the other day when we were talking about this. I'm like, dude. You can make a vertical slice of anything look and maybe even run good, but after you start bringing on all those gaming mechanics and everything else that a game has to do, then there goes your graphics, there goes your fidelity, there goes your frames, there goes this, that, and the other thing, right? So I hope this is real. Like Pixel was saying, it would be great, but the proof will be in the pudding, and we've been fooled before. We've been down this road with other games that have been in Steam preview or have been in Steam allow you to pre-order it that have been turned to be absolute false, right? So there's a lot of people, showing out the UE5 and all the possibilities of what UE5 can do when you push it to the max. But this game looks like it's going to burn through a 4090, no issue. Like, it literally set that effort right on fire. So I'm kind of with you. Like, look, if we're all wrong and we will take the L's and we all want to be wrong, right? Because it looks beautiful. But, the UI has something to be desired, especially at the end. I was like, that's pretty ugly. But who knows? Maybe they're going for a Hellblade type of scenario where there's not a lot on the screen, and then people literally, I mean, it happened with Hellblade. People were like, show us gameplay. We're like, we just did. We just showed you gameplay because you haven't played Hellblade 1. You don't understand that there's not a lot of UI that's on the screen when you're playing Hellblade and Hellblade 2. So who knows? I don't know. Cypher, are we crazy? Me and Pixel, are we just being, bah humbugs? Because sometimes I feel like I'm the guy who just craps all over everyone's, cereal and, all that jazz. Oh, yeah, there you go.
You're asking the wrong guy about stuff like that, because I have been deemed the grouchy ass old man of the
well, you're in good company then.
I forever get hammered for that. The fact that they're like, oh, your cup ain't half full at all. So I always get grief for that. But I would definitely say, just like what you were saying, right, is a vertical slice can look really, really good. But once you start to layer in all those game mechanics, all those physics, all of those requirements, suddenly your game's looking like Half-Life from 95 because of how intensive that sucker is going to be on your system. And you did mention, like, it's on Steam, it says a pre-order. I remember other games like that as well. If Sour's still in the chat, he will be angry about this because he's always salty when this happens. But I remember this game called Star Citizen, where people could buy into it.
I think I spent $250 on that one.
Yeah.
So,
How's that full game?
The demo still, every night
the demo
open it up and take a look and see how far they got. I'm like, this is still a great demo.
So like this looks great, but it's like, it feels like a fleece a little bit. Like you're selling me bills and goods that are not legit to the final product, probably.
Right.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that something like this comes out and it plays and looks like this. But I'm gonna be the grouchy old man and say, yeah, right. That's not gonna happen.
All right, three for three voting, maybe no on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I could go either way, but I'm leaning towards probably not on my side as well. Dave, be the shining knight, be the shining star. Pull us out of the void here of the bunch of grumpy ass mofos over here. What do you think?
It's real. I shot it on my GoPro. I hope it's real, and that's all I can say. Is I hope it gets to the point. If you look at games, and this is the only caveat to, and I understand exactly what you guys are saying. It looks very taxing for any PC. Stalker 2 looks pretty damn good, and it's one of those games where I'm sure it's going to be. Yeah, but then again, it's the start time. This has started sooner, I guess, or more recent.
Oh, that's
so
true. I hear what you're saying.
So I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you're right, correct. Yeah, I'm not. There's no way to defend it to say this is going to be great. I'm getting it tomorrow. It's but I want to believe. The little child in me, the little kid,
little X-Files. I want to believe.
I want to believe this game is real.
I think we definitely all want to believe. Like, I would love to be wrong on this one. Like, it looks pretty. I don't know on the gameplay side if people want the body cam thing either. That's a thing that might have to overcome. Like, are people gonna like that look? You know what I mean?
It's a cool effect, man. I think it's a badass effect. I mean, I think they should incorporate something like that to COD. I mean, to give it that, because it really adds that sense of realism.
Yeah.
And especially like the game, the recoil with the gun and stuff, and he puts his hand up for the mic comm around his throat. You
feel it.
The little things that are I'm feeling the demo. I'm hoping they can eventually pull it off, but I don't really know if it's real. And the last thing I'll say is, you youngins on this panel,
thank you for calling me.
This year I'm gonna be 58. So just so you all know,
it's like, suck it.
And you still act more youthful and positive than I do.
Yeah.
Sex is always fun. What? Mark's like, what'd you say? Stop it. Don't be telling our business. Anyway, boys got to eat. Anyway, so where are we at?
Sorry. Pause.
Yeah, pause. And please don't put that in the cutout.
You said it. It's all game, brother.
That's a replay. Right there.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Your youngins and your games and your geez, let's get back to the mystery machine.
Get off my lawn. Yeah, I think
bread and puffs.
hopefully these guys can prove us all wrong. And it'll come out in 2030. I don't know when the hell this game's coming out.
Hey, retire.
You never know. Like a lot of these guys also do stuff where it's kind of like they will make this little slice and it's a concept and they hope a publisher or someone's going to see them and then they get the money to finish said game too. There's a lot of that going on these days, which I think is a very smart move for indie developers to do. To you know get some backing. So who knows? Like you never really know. And maybe it'll come. Maybe it could be a UE6 when that comes out. Like it could be converted over. I don't fucking know.
Is there any voice chats? Any voice speak?
Let me check real quick. I don't think so.
Umbra
nope.
owes us a song.
No, we're good. Yeah, Umbra. I'm gonna hold you there.
Yeah, until next weekend to get us a song, Umbra. I'm just saying.
You left us hanging.
All right.
All right. So next up, now we'll move on from that. Is Tango Gameworks. There's some behind the scenes stuff that they're adding 30 new jobs to Tango. And I just wanted to talk about this real quick because I've been saying this for months now that for Xbox to become bigger, a bigger entity or to move the needle whatsoever in Japan, one of my ideas was to extend out Tango Gameworks, what you already have in-house. That's your Japanese studio. Make it huge. Make Tango the Capcom for you. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing on new jobs. So it seems like that's exactly what they're doing, according to rumors and LinkedIn and whatnot. So a lot of this stuff comes from LinkedIn, and I tend to believe those. I mean, I don't think they're lying about needing 30 new jobs. That would be a weird gotcha. But guys, what do you think about? Do you like Tango Gameworks and their games? And what do you think about them expanding out and getting 30 new jobs at the studio? I'll go to Pixel first on this one.
I am only now getting involved with Tango Games work games. So I never played any of the Evil Within. Is that the prior
yes.
IPs?
Yeah.
So I've never. I stopped being a horror fan like probably around like the PS2 or 3 era when things got a little surreal looking.
I hear you.
Good. I don't want that. I like happy games. But I have been playing. I did beat the Hi-Fi Rush, and I did start the this other one,
Ghostwire.
Yeah,
Ghostwire Tokyo.
I just started Ghostwire, which is I'm intrigued. It's like it's not really a horror game as much as it's an action kind of mystery kind of game, right?
Yeah, more suspenseful than horror. I agree with you on that.
So playing those two different games, it's like they're so far on different sides of the spectrum, and I'm like, wow, this they're a talented studio. So yeah, by all means, I mean, Microsoft should fund as much money into them as possible. I think they have a lot of talent. So I think they're going to be a studio that's able to produce a lot of interesting concepts that are different from the games that are being produced from other studios. And I like that Microsoft is focusing on those type of studios. Like I'm a state of decay kind of player, so I like games to range all over the place, and I think it's a good choice. So it's good to hear, especially after a week of hearing that studios are failing and things aren't hitting.
Doom and gloom.
Making good money is whatever, right? So it was a good counter to that kind of noise. Which, by the way, we will be hearing more of this noise over the next couple of days, people. So don't be surprised, right? Because the advanced FUD campaign should be heating up this week.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
Cypher, what do you think, brother? Tango Gameworks, do they tickle your fancy? Do you care for the games? And what do you think about them adding on some new jobs, expanding the studio?
I think it's a really smart idea to add more folks to that team, to that group, right? Like they've obviously shown that they're worth it. They're worth putting in that investment. I think the thing I see is when I see that 30 and it ramps up, like obviously I was hopeful that they were already working on Evil Within 3. And then when Hi-Fi Rush came out, I was like, damn, okay, I guess maybe they're not working on that right now. They're busy. But when you add 30 more people, you get my heart a fluttering again a little bit in a way. And I see that Evil Within 3 starting to pop back into mind, and I get excited about that because those games are slick. The first one was super scary. The second one is really good. It's really environmental. Like it's got a lot going on in it. The world is really well crafted. It's got cool characters and stuff. And I feel like it was a really good sequel. And I really want to see a third game. So fingers crossed, if this happens, then like send them to an Evil Within 3 so I can get my sequel. Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the way Xbox has been going, they keep telling the studios make 7 games at the same time. We don't care. So your Evil Within 3 could be, could have been in the works for a while now, for all we know.
True. And they also, I mean, if you look at their current list of different game genres and stuff that they cover, right? They don't have horror. Like this is the closest you get to that. And so this would be good. And if you look right now, like we haven't had anything for a while. So yeah, I mean, it could have been in the works for a while. They could have had it as a splintered group too, right? Like working on it on a small capacity while Hi-Fi Rush was doing their thing or vice versa. So yeah, hopefully. But I think it's great. Give them the support they want and need. It looks like they're obviously worth it.
100%. Dave, thoughts?
Oh man, I love the team there, and like you said, it's definitely their foothold into to the market, and I think they should expand it and grow it, and get it a lot bigger than it is. And I think that they've their I guess their main guy stepped down recently, or quote unquote retired. But he waited until this till the game was out, and and then it was and he felt like he wanted to be there for his team, to make sure everything went good, and from what we understand, and Phil has mentioned this before too, that that they've had several talks, and he has actually gone to him to get his input on how things run in Japan and how they should go about it. So and from what I understand, he's still going to continue. They're still friends, so they'll still be able to communicate and those kind of things and get his advice. And it's the kind of bond that you definitely want to lean into as a company, and they do want to get there eventually. They will. They'll get to where they need to be. We hope that there's going to be other acquisitions after this. We know there's going to be acquisition after this. We know it's going to happen. So,
yep. I'll my 2 cents is like I kind of like Pixelbit. I did play Evil Within 1 back in the day. 2 didn't. I did play 2. It didn't kind of catch me. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe it became. I can't remember. It might have been more actiony, kind of like Resident Evil became more of an action game than a horror game after a while. Yep. Which they've come back around in my opinion, because now like 7 scared the crap out of me. Resident Evil 7. But I'm enjoying Tango Gameworks games. Like Hi-Fi Rush was just an unbelievable fresh, just absolute fresh game for me, right? That came out of nowhere, and I was like trying to look for things wrong with that game, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And Infinite will agree with me. He's played it like over 7 friggin' times playthroughs. I just think the game is that good, and I love the style of it. The characters were super funny, and now I've moved on to Ghostwire, and kind of surprised again at actually how much I'm enjoying Ghostwire, because it got like okay reviews. Like, it was kind of very like mediocre from everybody. And after fixing the controls on it, and if you don't know that, go back to my Twitter feed. I tell you guys how to fix the terrible controls that it starts with.
Rough.
Yeah. I'll send it to you guys just because the controls are very floaty and very bad off the bat, and I don't know what the heck they were thinking. So there are ways to fix that and make your experience in Ghostwire feel more first person shootery, I guess, more responsive. But once you're past that, I think it's a really solid game. I would probably mark it like a 75 or something like that personally.
Wow.
But yeah. So for me, that's very playable, very good, and I'm happy to have Tango Gameworks as part of Microsoft, the family, and love that they're expanding out. I want to see more games from them and keep the weirdness, right? We need that very, very different games, Hi-Fi Rush and Ghostwire Tokyo and Evil Within. They're all very different from one another. So, and I want Microsoft to stay weird and just have a very awesome eclectic portfolio, which is what I want. I want different stuff to come out of there. So, what's up, Kay Asante? How
Welcome,
you doing,
Kay
sir?
Asante.
What's up, man?
But,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's
Fifth
my
Beatle.
piece. That's right. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, on that note, that's our last subject. But I want to kind of end the podcast with me. Eternal Shaddai. Let me read this. I'll tell you something. If it's true that Tango is making a JRPG, the game that comes to mind is Shadow Hearts. That's a good one. The dark JRPG, very good game by XC. That's a good shout out. I like that. And thank you, Eternal Shaddai, for being here and joining us, man. I appreciate all you guys,
Everybody.
taking your time, everybody coming in and joining us. And I'm just gonna bring in one more little thing real quick here, since all the other stuff wasn't working. I got to bring in these videos one at a time.
That's all right.
And I'm shilling for this. I'm gonna have to turn down the volume here. Yeah, I know people are getting sick and tired.
No,
guys,
not at all.
listen. This is a scary. Speaking of scary stuff, this is on. I was saying Epics before. Epics now is MGM Plus. If you guys want to subscribe to this series, this season 2 starts tonight. If you like Lost and you like scary shows, I'm fucking telling you, I have to use the F word. This show is fan-effing-tastic. I can't get over how good it is. I love it so much, and that's why I shill for it. And I need people to watch it so I can talk to them about the show. Fantastic actors.
Show, man.
It's literally called From. It's the terrible name.
Lovely.
But yeah.
Lost from okay.
I know there's a pattern here, right? So I think some of the producers from Lost are in here. Obviously, you see Michael from Lost is in here, great friggin' actor, and he just kills it in this show. And it's just very spooky, like the creatures that are in here, and it's you try to figure out what the hell is going on the entire show, and I can promise you watch the first season, and every time you have a theory, they're gonna crush it and take it in a different direction. Horror fans, please put this on your list now. And if you don't want to pay for MGM Plus, there's other ways to get it off the interwebs. I think you all know what I'm talking about. It's a pirate's life for me. Anyways, I love the show. I don't know if you guys are into horror or not. I know, Dave, you are, so you should be watching this, brother.
I will eventually once it's all out, or we'll talk later about other ways to get the show. But
yeah, I might send it to you. I got it on Google Drive right now.
I would venture a guess there's probably a trial too, right, for MGM.
Honestly, I don't know. That's a good point. There might be a trial. The whole first season's obviously done. This second season starts tonight. So if you're into binging like I am, then
here's what you do, RHETRI. When the show this season is done, like all of them are up, you let us. We'll come back on the podcast and you let us know about it. That way we can do the 1 month. Binge the show, get all caught up, and then cancel.
Yep.
And then
cancel.
Well, I mean,
that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Somehow.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll come back later. It's just like what I'll do with Ubisoft Plus. I'm not going to pay you monthly.
That's exactly what I was thinking when he said that.
I'm not going to pay you consistently for it like I do Game Pass. I will dip in when the getting's good, and then I will bounce.
I'm the same way, brother. For Ubisoft, I'm gonna dip my toes in and then get the hell out just as fast.
Yeah, until you show me that you're like the Ubisoft of the days of old, where like you released more than a game a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you get to the point where you're like the old Ubisoft, where it's like 4 or 5 games, sure, sign me up.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. All right,
Let's
Dave, that's all I got, brother.
Well, we got here's read this one out real quick. and we have one more to read.
JetFan95. Yep. Everyone is always asking one another who they want Xbox to acquire next. But I have a different question. Which studio or publisher would you not want to happen? For me, it's Ubisoft. Fucking fantastic answer, JetFan. I'll let you guys go first. I know my answer, but go for it, guys. Anyone, Pixelbit, you can start, I guess.
Yeah,
Who would you not want?
I would like them to leave Square to die. I'm good.
Yes.
Square to die?
Yep. They can
Okay.
Square right in the dirt where they belong. I'm good with that.
In the dirt where they belong. I see Cypher shaking his head. Yes,
Man, I'm gonna say this because I'm in a few chats with some folks who are very big Final Fantasy fans, and
Yeah.
I apologize because this will be abrasive to
It
you.
looks like a PS3 game.
But
This will be abrasive.
incidentally, the name is Final Fantasy, and I want it to live up to its name and finally bounce out of here, get out. I don't need any more Final Fantasies. We've had 40 of them. It's the exact same thing over and over again. I don't care. I want to see it curb stomped. I want to see it gone.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah,
listen.
Square deserves it anyways.
Well,
because of all the bad decisions that they've had.
I love the
exactly.
slander.
The terrible
You-
decisions.
You let them
Love it.
foreclose. Everyone comes in, picks the meat off the bones,
Picks the bones,
grabs the
yeah.
last little bit that's there, and then you kick Final Fantasy right to the garbage can where it belongs.
Well, gentlemen, I shouldn't have let you go first because you done stole my answer. My answer is Square. Definitely get rid of them. Let them die in the dirt. 100% Square. They can jump off the bridge. I won't miss them. It's okay. I haven't been into Final Fantasy since 7, the literally 7, not the remake. So for me, they got rid of all the Western divisions. Everything that was good about Square, in my opinion, is gone. So yeah, I'm saying Square.
Ready for my take?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you three guys are fucking crazy. I'm just kidding. No, you know what? I get it.
I love
I
it.
understand it. I do get it. But just let me remind you one thing. Just one little bitty thing. They have obviously all the Final Fantasy games. If they got them, all that back catalog could go into Game Pass. We're talking.
You're right.
Kingdom
No,
Hearts.
hold on.
We're t-
Before you go there,
Okay.
just remember one thing because somebody else said this on I think Everborn show. What of those games are actually on Xbox consoles?
Like
All
how
of
many are actually there right now?
Yeah, because no.
Touche.
Because if they do get them, you're gonna have a lot of IPs for games that do not exist on any of your platforms.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah.
they're gonna have to spend years just to make
Yeah.
versions of those games.
That's
To-
a
and-
damn
and-
good
and
point.
to answer your question, there's actually only about 5 games that haven't been on Xbox at this point, including there's a lot of games, all the Final Fantasy games up to except for I think 15 and
Okay.
14 have not been, but everything else have all been on Game Pass at one time. They've gone and left, but they're ready. If they own them, they can drop them in all at once. Same with
Okay,
Kingdom Hearts
nice.
games. All
Okay.
of those have been on and they can be dropped in at any time. And not to mention the biggest franchise in Japan, bigger, 10 times bigger than Final Fantasy that it is in the US is Dragon Quest.
Mhm.
Dragon Quest in
Yeah,
Japan
that's
is
I always
huge.
forget about that. That's a really
Huge.
good point.
And
dude.
that was on Game Pass at one point, right?
Yes,
That
yes,
was okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I'm not. But
No,
the
no,
reason-
no. Hey,
they
you
can
win.
get them cheap. They
Dave,
have
you
$90
can go-
billion.
hey,
They can
I
buy
mean-
them and
Pick the bones.
everything else.
Pick
Only
the bones.
only place I would say
Good stuff, Dave.
don't buy Sony.
Everybody else.
That's my take. I'm just playing, guys. But
Hey, someone's got to disagree with us. Like someone
Good
has to be
stuff.
on the other side of that. So I'm glad
the
we
bad
weren't
guy
all
tonight.
saying the exact same thing.
the
Hey,
bad
you can.
guy.
Dave, I'm usually the bad guy, so I'm
I love you guys.
glad you're taking it tonight.
He brought me more
I
close to his view because I thought more of their games weren't on on the other Xbox consoles.
fair enough.
Yeah.
You'd think though. Of course, according to Sony's mindset, they're all theirs. But no.
Right.
Nice.
I see Infinite saying Sega. Oh my God, you're crazy, brother. I
Can I
respect
block
it.
him?
I respect
Can I
it.
block him?
Yeah.
Get the ability.
Oh,
Nice.
goodness. Oh, goodness. Guys, man,
Yeah.
thank you all so much for being here. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Over
Absolutely.
50 people in there, still in there right now. And then we've had numerous people come in and out throughout the night. And thank you so much. And people to watch this on the replay, thank you so much for joining us. The last quick thing I'll say, I'm going to go around as a horn to everybody. But again, our condolences go out to Randall Thor, 19. On his loss. Shakespeare is a wonderful animal, and I know what it's like to lose a pet, because it is like losing a family member.
Absolutely.
And he will be here on another show in a future time. So, but there's just whenever he's ready is when we'll have him on. So for those of you that are disappointed he didn't make it tonight, we had two amazing
you
guests
guys
tonight.
killed it.
Oh my God, you guys were great. Pixel Bit G, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter slaying trolls. That's what I do. And this is going to be a good week. So follow me on Twitter.
You're definitely going to be wanting to pay attention to him this week, guys. You got to follow him.
I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
If there's tears, I'm going to be involved. So just keep me there. And, maybe you'll see me on some more podcasts eventually. But it was a pleasure, real pleasure being invited to this show, man. I really had a good time with you guys. Nice to kind of meet you guys in person, Dave.
Absolutely.
And Silent Cypher. So, hopefully we'll be speaking to you guys again. So,
well, this won't be the
100%.
last time you'll be on. We'll having you back, buddy. Don't you
Absolutely.
worry.
You're coming back for
Sounds
sure.
good,
Silent Cypher, sir, thank you so much for being here. The man with the sexy voice, ladies, watch out.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh my God, I'm wet.
Wow, that just got awkward.
Sorry.
Thanks.
It got awkward. Yeah, you're welcome.
Can I block you in the chat too? Let's see.
I used to think I had a pretty decent voice as I heard some of you guys. Goddamn.
You do too, buddy. You do too.
Hey, it's like I always heard growing up is like, if you're not a beautiful person, you have to make up for it in other ways. So that's one of the ways.
I have a face for radio.
Yeah,
Think about that a second.
Me too. I am so pasty. If these lights weren't on, it would still look like the lights were on. So it's fine. But yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It was great. It's great to get back together with you, Dave.
Yes.
RHETRI, I'm looking forward to playing some more games. I feel like I've only dove in like once with you over the last month since you added me.
Yeah.
So that's my bad.
Glad you're yeah, absolutely. Hey, you're part of the community now, brother. So we'll definitely do some more gaming. 100%.
Awesome. And Pixelbit, it was great to hang out with you, chat with you. I always see you out and about, so it's fun to do a podcast with you, brother. But yeah, in regards to where you can find me, obviously Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Xbox International Podcast on the YouTube channel. See us hanging out there, throwing a bunch of crap at each other. We love to be abusive to each other, myself, Crazy, and Sour. And yeah, if you... this is going to be not for everyone, but if you're into Legos, keep an eye on my TikTok, because I actually have something kind of cool that I'm going to be doing around on that soon.
Cool.
But besides that, I'm hoping to get some more content out there on TikTok as well. So
awesome.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
I'll have all the links in the description below, by the way. And so appreciate that. And RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you and what you're up to as well.
Yeah. So, Game Pass _daily, guys. Of course, all your Game Pass news, you can get it there. Had a little rough week this past week. Things are going down in my life, just like Randall's. So that's why you didn't get that much content. But I promise you, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm coming back twice as strong as ever. So you can find me, Game Pass _daily on Twitter and Game Pass Daily on TikTok and YouTube. So make sure to subscribe to that. And I will put the Discord community in the chat as well. The new one, the fresh one in there. If you guys want to game with us, we just have a good time. You guys, you don't have to be good at COD, Halo. I don't give a crap. Fortnite. It's not about being good. It's about having fun and just laughing, with us. And you can see how we do that I've been starting to stream out to YouTube as well for community game nights, every Saturday, sometimes on Fridays. So if you guys want to check out how that's going to be, just check out my YouTube channel and go to the live section. You can see what that's all about. And Silent Cypher joined us, so he knows we like to have a good time. So come on and join us.
Excellent. And again, thanks everybody in the chat. I mean, so many great members of the community that are in here too, that are not only friends, but people we podcast with, people we have so much respect for. And we appreciate the support that you guys are showing to us. I'll drop the link for our some more things that are in there, including a merch shop for us. You don't have to get anything, but sometimes people want stuff, and if they do, there it is. It's not there to to make money. It's there just if people want it. So thank you for that. And man, really appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate all you guys being here. Also, Pixelbit G, Silent Cypher, I just let you all know I did make you all moderators while the show was going on. So anytime you want to come back and wreak havoc and ban people, you go right ahead. Don't piss them off.
Let the power go to my head, I promise.
No, I love you guys, and thank you all so much for being here. And thanks to everybody who joined us tonight. And don't forget, we'll be back next week. And oh my gosh, things are going to get crazy. So I have a feeling next week's show is going to be
it's going to be great.
The hook. Oh my gosh. Thanks for everybody for joining us here at Gamers Council.